What time is it? It's tea o'clock. It's party time, and your next drink is on us. Hello and welcome back to the Brew and Bucks Financial Podcast with Noma. Over here, we are spilling financial tea from our kettle to your cup. So sit back, relax, and enjoy our tea time treats. To unlock practical tools and biblical principles to financial literacy, resilience, and well-being, share and subscribe as you listen. I think it's fair to say that the current state of the global economy is a grim reality that many, if not all of us, are grappling with. Unless you live under a rock, there are so many signs pointing to the fact that many countries of the world are either already in a recession or heading towards one, a depression, and economic decline as a whole. But before I get into the meat of today's Money Matters, let's look at a few dictionary definitions of the words recession and depression. A recession is a period of temporary economic decline. It is a period during which trade and industrial activity are reduced. A recession is generally identified by a fall in GDP in 2 successive quarters. A depression is a period in which there is very little business activity and not many jobs. Some signs of economic recessions and depressions include high rates of unemployment, businesses failing or little business activity, investments losing value, low economic activity, etc. The high cost of living in the UK, for example, is a result of many factors, including high inflation between 2021 and 2024, driven by energy and food prices, stagnant wage growth, housing affordability, etc. It is reported that 84% of adults in the UK have £1,000 or less in their savings account, and a quarter of Britons, about 23%, have £200 or less. Many people are struggling to make ends meet. People are living paycheck to paycheck. Food banks all over the world are overwhelmed with the amount of people in need of help. In certain parts of the world, even people who were once well off are now having to depend on their local food banks to be able to eat a decent meal. People are going deeper and deeper into debt, especially credit card debt, just to afford the essentials. In the last 3 to 4 years, we've gone from a cost of living crisis to the cost of surviving, and now to the cost of existing crisis. I saw a comment recently on a YouTube video that said, "We can't afford to live and we cannot afford to die either." Speaking of the current cost of living crisis, that's how bad things are right now. Recently, it was reported that UK unemployment rate has risen to 5% in the 3 months to September. Bearing in mind we are still in November, so it's not even a full 3 months yet. According to the ONS, Office for National Statistics, this is the highest since early 2021, but it is a sign of a weak or weakening job market. The ONS data shows that nearly 1.7 million people are claiming unemployment benefits. As we've seen on the news and all over social media, there are mass layoffs happening worldwide. Some people are being forced to work multiple jobs to put food on the table. I even saw a YouTube video, I think, talking about the increase in fake job ads. Apparently, it's a tactic that some companies use to keep postings up, even when they are not actively filling the roles. Some companies allegedly use it against their own current employees to create a sense of replaceability to boost productivity. If that's true, it's callous and such a waste of time for the job hunters that fill out those applications. Needless to say, the job market is on the brink of collapse. Obviously, given the fact that due to the high cost of living and unemployment rates, it means that several people cannot afford to pay for the houses they live in or their bills, which has made the housing sector even more volatile. High energy and food prices, rent increases, high mortgage and interest rates, etc., has forced many people to move back in with their parents. There are couples who have no business being together, being forced to live in the same house just to be able to afford the rent or mortgage. People are living in storage units, their cars, mobile homes, RVs, etc. The rental sector is in a crisis. There are about 10 people queuing for a single property, which goes to show that the demand outweighs the supply by a huge margin. Let's not talk about the increase in homelessness and unaffordable homes in general. A lot of the Gen Zs have realised that home ownership, not only in the UK, might be a myth for them. There are working people, I'm talking entire households, that still can't afford to rent an entire property, let alone buy one. People are working more and harder than ever before, yet this is the brokest we've ever been. All over the news and on social media, people of different ages, from the baby boomers, Gen X, millennials, and Gen Zs, are all crying and complaining about the same thing: money anxiety, financial hardships, and insecurity. It seems like different people all around the world are experiencing some level of financial crisis currently. And all of this, according to several economists, is the tip of the iceberg. There have been a couple predictions that things are going to get worse before they get any better. As Christians, this is nothing new to us because there are specific Bible chapters, verses, and prophecies that speak on global economic downturns, hardships, and an eventual global economic crash in the last days, which we are in. In addition to that, there are over 2,000 Bible verses on material possession, wealth, and money. Almost half of Jesus's parables are based on this same premise. And I believe it is because, seeing as money matters are universal, Jesus chose to use this topic that every human being can relate to, in spite of your age, ethnicity, nationality, culture, creed, and your language, to communicate truth and reality. With that being said, it makes me wonder how people are navigating this current economic landscape. Thank you for joining me today. Next time, I will unpack some prevalent ways of thinking about money within Christendom that are unhealthy. If you wish to get an understanding of what I call the theology of money and want to start thinking biblically about your finances, keep listening and don't forget to subscribe.